I can hear your song, but it's drowning in lies. A young voice pierces the humid New Orleans air, sharp and unshakable. The French Quarter hums with distant saxophone notes and the faint clatter of streetcars. In a dim apartment, Eli Moreau, once the golden voice of Unmasked radio, sits alone, his world now just vibrations from a static-laced speaker against his palm. He turns, startled, toward Maya, a Native American girl strumming a ukulele outside his window. Her words hang heavy, hinting at a betrayal he can't yet grasp. Who is silencing his life? What truth does this girl know? Drop a comment with where you're listening from and hit subscribe to catch every twist of this story. Will Eli break through the noise or stay lost forever? Stay tuned to uncover the secrets hidden in the static. The humid air of New Orleans clings to the skin like a second pulse, heavy with the scent of magnolia and the distant wail of a saxophone weaving through the French Quarter's narrow streets. In a dim third-floor apartment, where the only light flickers from a neon sign across the way, Elliot Eli Moreau sits alone, his world reduced to vibrations against his palm. Once the golden voice of WNOZ radio, his name was synonymous with late-night jazz and soulful stories that held the city in thrall. Now, 2 years after a car crash stole his hearing, he's a shadow of that man, his days filled with the hiss of static from a speaker pressed to his hand, its trembling waves the closest he gets to sound. The device, a clunky assistive listener, translates radio frequencies into faint pulses, a cruel reminder of the music he can no longer hear. He adjusts the dial, chasing a ghost of a melody, when the door creaks open. Sandra Tate steps in, her heels clicking on the warped hardwood floor. At 40, she's all polish. Blonde hair swept into a low bun, her tailored blazer crisp despite the damp air. Her voice, smooth as bourbon, cuts through his haze. Eli, we need to talk about the station. She slides a contract across the coffee table, her manicured nails gleaming. This ad deal could keep WNOZ afloat. You don't want to let it die, do you? Her tone is warm, practiced, but there's an edge to it, an impatience Eli feels rather than hears. He nods, his fingers brushing the paper, signing without reading. It's what he does now. Trusts Sandra, his manager of 15 years, to handle what he can't. But as she gathers the papers, her phone buzzes and she steps onto the balcony to take the call. Eli catches a flicker of tension in her shoulders, a clipped tone he can't make out. It's the third time this week she's left him mid-conversation, and a knot tightens in his chest. He rises, his cane tapping the floor as he shuffles toward the door. The station calls to him, its abandoned halls a graveyard of his past. The walk to Unmasked is slow, deliberate, each step measured against the uneven sidewalks of the quarter. The air hums with life. Street performers, tourists, the clatter of a streetcar, but to Eli, it's a muted blur, a world he navigates through memory and touch. The station's faded sign looms ahead, its neon tubes long dark, the letters peeling like old skin. He pauses, his hand grazing the rusted door, when a faint vibration catches him, not from his device, but from the air itself. A melody, soft and lilting, drifts from a nearby alley. A girl, no older than 12, sits cross-legged on a crate, her dark braids swaying as she strums a battered ukulele. Her skin, kissed by the Louisiana sun, marks her as Native American, her eyes sharp with a wisdom that belies her age. I can hear your song, but it's drowning in lies, she says, her voice clear and piercing, stopping Eli cold. He turns, his cane steadying him, and squints at her through the haze of his grief. What did you say, kid? His voice is rough, unused, but she doesn't flinch. I said your song's still there, but someone's burying it in noise. Her fingers pause on the strings, the notes fading into the city's hum. Eli scoffs, assuming it's a street kid's hustle, but her gaze holds steady, unyielding. I'm Maya. I've seen you around, and I've heard her, your manager lady. She's not what you think." Eli's grip tightens on his cane, the words landing like a punch. "You don't know me, kid." But Maya leans forward, her voice dropping. "I know she's trouble. I hear things out here where no one notices me." She tells him of nights spent in the alley behind the po' boy shop, where she's caught Sandra's phone calls in the dark. She said you're not a problem anymore, that she's moving money, your money, to some account you don't know about. Eli's breath catches, his mind racing. Sandra, his rock through the accident, the lawsuits, the endless doctor visits. Could she be playing him? He wants to dismiss it, to call it a child's fantasy, but Maya's certainty gnaws at him. "Why tell me this?" he asks, his voice low. Maya shrugs, her fingers plucking a single, mournful note. "Because no one listens to kids like me. But I hear the truth in the quiet." A passer-by, a middle-aged man in a polo shirt, sneers as he tosses a coin at her. "Go back to the reservation, kid," he mutters, the words sharp but casual, a sting Maya ignores with practiced ease. Eli's jaw clenches, but he says nothing, the slight burning in his chest. Maya stands, slinging her ukulele over her shoulder. "Listen closer, Mr. Radio Man. The static's not you, it's her." She presses a pair of worn earphones into his palm, the plastic cracked but warm from her grip. "Sound never lies. Keep these. You'll need them." Before he can respond, she's gone, her footsteps fading into the quarter's din. Eli stands frozen, the earphones heavy in his hand, a relic of a life he's lost. Sandra's voice echoes in his memory, her urgency about the contract, her quick exits to take calls. He tucks the earphones into his pocket, their weight a question he's not ready to answer. Back in his apartment, he sits, the speaker pressed to his palm again, static buzzing like a warning. Maya's words loop in his mind, a melody he can't shake. What does she know? Who's burying his song? He leans back, the neon glow outside flickering, and wonders if the truth is louder than he's been led to believe. The neon sign outside Eli Moreau's apartment flickers, casting jagged shadows across the room as he clutches the cracked earphones Maya gave him. Her words, sharp, insistent, echo in his mind. Sandra, his trusted manager, hiding something in the static. He shakes off the thought, but doubt clings like the humid New Orleans air. The French Quarter pulses beyond his window, its jazz and laughter a world he can no longer join. Eli's fingers trace the earphone's worn edges, a relic of sound, a challenge to listen closer. He sets his assistive device to WNOZ's old frequency, the vibrations erratic, like a heartbeat out of rhythm. Sandra's urgency about the latest contract gnaws at him, her clipped tone, her quick retreats to private calls. He resolves to watch her, to feel for the truth Maya claims is buried. Morning dawns heavy with mist, the city's rhythm softened but unrelenting. Eli sits at his kitchen table, the contract's weight still lingering in his memory. Sandra arrives, her perfume sharp, her voice smoother than yesterday. "Eli, we're close to saving the station," she says, sliding a new document his way. "This sponsor's offering big money. Just one more signature." Her smile feels rehearsed, and when she steps away to take a call, Eli slips his phone from his pocket. He activates the recorder, an old habit from his DJ days, and angles it toward her. Through the assistive device, he catches vibrations of her voice. Low, tense. Words like, "not a problem anymore," and "final transfer." His pulse quickens, the static in his chest no longer just from the radio. Sandra returns, oblivious, and pats his shoulder. "You're doing the right thing, Eli." But her touch feels colder now, calculated. He needs answers, someone to anchor his suspicions. Noah, his son, is the only one who might understand, but their rift runs deep. Eli dials his number. The vibrations of the unanswered call are a familiar sting. Noah, 20, a jazz guitarist with his mother's fire, blames Eli for retreating into silence after her death. The voicemail beeps and Eli speaks, voice rough. "Noah, it's about the station. I need you." No response comes, but Eli clings to the hope of a bridge not fully burned. He heads to WUMNOZ, the abandoned station, pulling him like a siren's call. The air inside is stale, heavy with dust and memory. He runs his hand along the mixing board, its knobs worn from years of his touch, when a faint melody cuts through. Ukulele strings, bright and defiant. Maya's there, perched on a broken chair, her Native American features softened by the dim light filtering through cracked windows. "You're back," she says, her voice steady but warm. "Heard anything yet?" Eli hesitates, then pulls out his phone, playing the faint recording of Sandra's call. Maya listens, her head tilted, eyes narrowing. "She's hiding money, Mr. Radio Man. I heard her last night behind the Po' Boy's shop, talking about accounts you don't know." Eli's jaw tightens, the betrayal sharpening into focus. "Why do you care, kid?" he asks, softer than he means. Maya strums a single chord, its vibration reaching him. "Because no one hears kids like me. But I hear her." A delivery truck rumbles by, the driver yelling, "Get a job, kid! Stop loitering!" The casual jab at Maya's presence stings, a reminder of how the city dismisses her. She shrugs it off, but Eli feels the weight of her resilience. He needs more than a child's word. Lila Brooks, a music lawyer and former fan, meets him at a jazz club in the Marigny, its walls pulsing with bass lines he can only feel. Lila, 38, her dark hair streaked with gray, slides into the booth with a stack of papers. "I dug into Winozi's contracts," she says, her voice sharp but kind. "Sandra's been signing deals with a shell company, funneling funds offshore. Your name's on them, but not your signature." Eli's hands clench, the earphones in his pocket a grounding weight. "She's setting me up," he mutters. Lila nods. "She's banking on you being too broken to notice." A patron at the bar, overhearing, mutters, "Typical Marigny crowd, always stirring trouble," his tone laced with disdain for the neighborhood's diverse mix. Eli ignores it, but Lila's eyes flash, a silent acknowledgement of the undercurrent. Back at the station, Eli tests the old equipment, desperate to reconnect with his past. He flips a switch, and a spark snaps, the air crackling with danger. A loose wire, deliberately cut, hums with live current. Eli stumbles back, heart pounding as Maya's voice cuts through from the doorway. "Stop! She was here last night." Her ukulele drops, her small frame rushing to pull him away. "I heard her messing with the wires," she pants. "She knows you're asking questions." Eli's breath catches, the near miss sharpening his resolve. "We need more proof," he says, voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. Maya nods, her eyes fierce. "I'll listen closer. You keep recording." She slips him a vinyl record. Billie Holiday's Solitude, its weight a promise. "This'll remind you who you are," she says. Eli grips it, the static fading as a new rhythm takes hold, one that demands he fight. As Maya vanishes into the quarter's dusk, Eli stands in the station's silence, the vinyl heavy in his hands. Sandra's betrayal is no longer a whisper. It's a pulse, loud and undeniable. He tucks the record under his arm, the earphones still in his pocket, and steps into the night, ready to chase the truth through the noise. Eli Moreau stands in the silent WNOZ station, the Billie Holiday vinyl in his hands, a lifeline to the man he used to be. The near miss with the sabotaged wire still hums in his veins. Maya's warning. "She knows you're asking questions," a drumbeat urging him forward. The New Orleans night presses against the station's cracked windows, the neon sign outside flickering like a pulse, casting jagged light across the dusty mixing board. Sandra's betrayal, once a whisper, now roars in his mind, her voice on his secret recordings a map to her deceit. Eli tucks the vinyl under his arm, the earphones Maya gave him heavy in his pocket, and steps into the humid dark, determined to unearth the truth before it buries him. Dawn breaks over the French Quarter, painting the sky in hues of amber and ash. Eli sits at a cluttered table in his apartment, the recordings from his phone looping through his assistive device. Maya's sharp ears caught it, Sandra's voice, low and deliberate, plotting to clear Eli out before the big broadcast. He replays it, the vibrations etching her words into his resolve. The accounts are set. He won't notice. His fingers tremble, not with fear, but with clarity. He needs more than fragments to expose her. Lila Brooks, the music lawyer, has already traced Sandra's fake contracts to a shell company, but Eli craves ironclad proof. He dials Noah again, his son's silence a familiar ache, but this time the call connects. "Dad, what's going on?" Noah's voice, guarded but curious, crackles through the device. "It's Sandra," Eli says, his tone steady. "She's stealing the station. I need your help." A pause, then Noah's hesitant agreement. "I'll meet you at WNOZ. The station feels different today, its air charged with anticipation." Maya's already there, her ukulele resting against a rusted chair, her Native American features sharp in the morning light. "You got more?" she asks, eyes scanning the room like she's listening for ghosts. Eli plays the latest recording, Sandra's voice betraying her plans to sell WNOZ to a corporate giant. Maya's jaw tightens. She was here again last night, talking on her phone near the back door. Said something about a final deal. Eli nods, her words fueling his fire. "We need to catch her in the act," he says. But Maya's gaze darts to the door. "Careful. She's watching you now." A street vendor outside, hawking beads, glances at Maya and mutters, "Kids like you don't belong in old buildings like this." The slight stings, a reminder of the city's casual dismissal of her, but she brushes it off, her focus unwavering. Noah arrives, his guitar case slung over his shoulder, his dark skin catching the light filtering through the station's grime-streaked windows. The years of distance between them hang heavy, but his presence softens the air. "I heard rumors," Noah says, voice low. "Friends in the jazz scene say Sandra's been meeting with suits, promising to flip WNOZ for millions." Eli feels the weight of his son's words, a bridge rebuilding itself. "She's using my name to do it," he says, handing Noah the recordings. Noah listens, his expression shifting from doubt to anger. "She's been lying to us both," he mutters, then pauses, his voice softening. "Dad, I'm sorry I didn't listen sooner." Eli reaches out, his hand finding Noah's shoulder. "You're here now." The moment is brief but electric, a spark of reconciliation that grounds Eli's resolve. Lila joins them, her briefcase stuffed with documents. "Sandra's moves are bold," she says, spreading papers across the mixing board. "She's forged your signature on 3 contracts, redirecting WNOZ's funds to an offshore account, but we need her to slip up publicly." Maya, leaning against the wall, chimes in. "What if we trick her into talking, set up a fake broadcast, make her think it's just a test?" Eli's eyes light up, though he can't hear the enthusiasm in his own voice. "A live stream. We'll bait her." Noah nods, his fingers tapping a rhythm on his guitar case. "I can get my bandmates to spread the word, make it seem legit." Lila agrees, her smile sharp. She'll think she's in control until she's not. Sandra arrives at dusk, her heels echoing in the station's hollow halls. "Eli, what's this about a test broadcast?" she asks, her tone sweet but strained. "Just keeping the dream alive," Eli replies, his voice calm but pointed. He feels her hesitation, the way her breath catches. You don't need to push yourself, she says, her hand grazing his arm. Let me handle it. But her words carry a shadow, and Eli senses it, a predator circling. I'm not as broken as you think, he says, his fingers brushing the earphones in his pocket. Sandra's smile falters. You're tired, Eli. Don't make this harder. A faint slur from a passerby outside cuts through. This place is for real musicians, not street kids and has-beens. The jab, aimed at Maya and Noah's community, hangs in the air, but Eli keeps his focus. He presses record on his phone, hidden in his jacket, capturing every word. As Sandra leaves, promising to check the equipment tomorrow, Eli turns to Maya and Noah. She's nervous, he says, the vinyl's weight still anchoring him. We've got her. Maya grins, her ukulele gleaming under the neon's glow. Her song's out of tune now. Eli nods, the pulse of their plan quickening, ready to confront the static head-on. Eli Moreau grips the Billie Holiday vinyl, its grooves a silent promise under his fingertips as Maya's words, her song's out of tune now, echo in the neon-lit WNOZ station. The air hums with the weight of their plan, a trap set to expose Sandra's betrayal before a live audience. The New Orleans night pulses outside, jazz notes weaving through the French Quarter's din, but inside, Eli feels a rhythm building, one he hasn't known since his voice ruled the airwaves. The earphones in his pocket and Noah's presence beside him anchor his resolve. Sandra's nervous glance earlier, her faltering smile, tells him she's close to cracking. The fake broadcast is hours away, and Eli knows it's their one shot to bring her lies into the light. The station buzzes with quiet preparation as dusk settles, the neon sign flickering back to life for the first time in years. Eli, Noah, and Maya huddle around the mixing board, its dials gleaming under Lila Brooks's flashlight. Lila, her gray-streaked hair pulled back, lays out the forged contracts on a crate, her voice steady but urgent. We've got the recordings, the paper trail, everything, she says, tapping a document. When Sandra speaks tonight, we stream it live. The audience will hear her unravel. Noah adjusts his guitar case, his dark eyes sharp with purpose. My bandmates are spreading the word online. People are already tuning in. Eli feels the vibrations of their excitement through his assistive device, a faint hum that mirrors his own pulse. Maya, her ukulele slung over her shoulder, adds, I'll watch her. She can't hide her voice from me. A delivery worker passing the station mutters, This dump's no place for kids or washed-up DJs. His words a jab at Maya and Eli's dreams. But they ignore it, their focus locked on the plan. The broadcast begins at 8. The station's old speakers crackling as Noah cues a jazz intro, a nod to Eli's glory days. Online listeners flood the chat, their comments projected on a laptop screen. Lila monitors. Is this really Eli Moreau? WNOZ is back. Eli takes a breath, his cane resting against the wall, and speaks into the mic, his voice steady despite the silence in his ears. New Orleans. This is Eli Moreau, testing the airwaves. Tonight's about truth. The vibrations of his words ground him, a rhythm he thought he'd lost. Sandra arrives, her heels sharp on the concrete floor, her smile tight. Eli, this is bold, she says, her tone laced with unease. You sure you're up for it? He nods, gesturing to the guest mic. Join me, Sandra. Tell the city about our plans for WNOZ. Her hesitation is palpable, a crack in her polished facade. Lila signals the stream is live, and Eli plays the first recording, Sandra's voice spilling through the speakers. The accounts are set. He won't notice. The chat explodes. What's she hiding? Eli's being played. Sandra's face pales, but she recovers, laughing it off. That's out of context, Eli. You're confused. Noah steps forward, his voice cutting through. No, he's not. I heard you too, Sandra, talking to Suits about selling the station. He pulls up texts from his bandmates confirming her meetings with corporate buyers. The chat surges with support. Noah's got receipts. Protect Bonos. A stray comment stings. Why's a street kid like her even here? Aimed at Maya. But she stands firm, her eyes locked on Sandra, reading every shift in her voice. Eli presses forward, his tone calm but unyielding. Sandra, you forged my name, moved my money, and planned to bury me. Why? Her composure cracks, her voice rising. I was saving the station. You're too broken to run it. The admission, raw and unguarded, echoes online, the chat erupting. She's done. Eli's back. Lila slides the forged contracts into view, her voice sharp over the mic. These documents say otherwise, Sandra. You stole from him. Sandra stammers, then storms out, her heels fading into the night, leaving a stunned silence. The chat keeps buzzing, one comment standing out. They tried to silence Eli and that girl, but they're louder than ever. Eli takes the mic again, his words steady. This station belongs to New Orleans, to all of us. We're bringing it back. Noah hands him an old microphone, the one Eli used in his prime, its weight a spark of memory. This is yours, Dad, Noah says, his voice soft but proud. Eli grips it, the moment sealing their bond. Maya steps up, her ukulele ready. Let's play something real, she says, strumming a bright chord that vibrates through Eli's device. They outline plans for a community radio hub, a space for the city's overlooked voices, kids like Maya, musicians like Noah. The chat lights up with pledges. I'm in. Save Wanoz. As the broadcast ends, Eli, Noah, and Maya stand under the neon sign, now glowing steadily, its letters spelling the song beneath the static. Eli feels the rhythm of their victory, a melody rising above the noise. The city's heartbeat thrums outside, and for the first time, he's part of it again, no longer silenced. Drop a comment with where you're tuning in from. Maybe someone's listening nearby. Hit subscribe to catch the next beat of this story. Will Eli's new song echo through New Orleans or fade into the static? Stay tuned to find out. As the neon glow of WNOZ fades into the New Orleans night, Eli, Maya, and Noah stand united, their song rising above the static, a testament to truth and resilience. This story of betrayal, redemption, and community has reached its crescendo, but its echoes linger. What did it stir in you? Did Eli's fight to reclaim his voice resonate? Or was it Maya's fearless spirit that struck a chord? Maybe Noah's return sparked hope for second chances. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Where are you tuning in from, and what moved you most? Your voice keeps this story alive, so share it and let's amplify the truth together. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the heart of New Orleans. Hit subscribe to catch our next tale, and until then, keep listening for the songs beneath the static. We'll meet again soon.